The article I read today was about contemplative practices and their benefits to mental and physical health. These practices include Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, prayer. Actually, they've known to be beneficial for quite some time now. We have research since the last century showing benefits in many aspects, including mental health, including a reduction in anxiety and depressive symptoms, reduction in pain, both chronic and acute, reduction of intrusive thoughts, and even some benefits in the control of blood pressure. What is very interesting is that even among these different practices, the benefits that you see are very similar between them. And this article tries to find the central mechanism through which these practices, as a group, as a whole, provide benefit to physical and mental health. This is a thesis, let's say. It's a theoretical model. It is based on some evidence from other studies, evidence about the effects of these contemplative practices on mental health, on physical health, on some objective measurements in laboratories, but many points in this model, in this explanation, are still theoretical, and the authors recognize this. They are putting this forward so it can serve as a basis for better understanding and for better study of the subject. The article begins by talking about how based on epidemiological data, people are living very stressful lives. It isn't exactly a surprise for us there to see what's happening around us, but the article has to be based on epidemiological data, so it can affirm this. It can be based on subjective impression, and this stress can be due to immediate threats to survival, material threats, threats that are visible, that are immediate, that are concrete, but it can also be something based on perceived threat. Even if the threat isn't objectively real, if the organism, if the body, the mind perceives something as a threat, it causes the stress response. Threats to survival cause this response. A feeling of lack of control, of lack of safety, both financial and social safety, a feeling of loss of control over one's own life, perception, a loss of connection to other people, a sense of disconnection from something greater or to a sense of purpose. Whatever the case, the stress response changes the metabolism of the body. In fact, the body changes its metabolism to prepare to deal with this threat that it perceives. This is a survival mechanism, actually. It activates when there is an immediate threat to survival, something that is threatening to end the life right now, but also to more subtle, indirect, subjective threat. The intensity of the response can change, but data shows that people are living in a moderate to high level of stress on a daily basis. This stress response has a huge cost to the organism in terms of energy, and the body directs the metabolism to produce the effects that are necessary to this stress response. And other functions suffer because of this. If this is maintained for a long period of time, it leads to harm in many aspects. A loss of mitochondrial function, inflammation, oxidative stress. There is an effect on the telomerase that's involved in longevity. You mess some hormonal functions, among other effects. In fact, there are a lot of diseases that when you take a look at their physiopathological mechanisms, at what is happening at the cells, the sequence of events, we have the impression that we are looking at a country that's been at war. Picture this. Imagine a country that has been at war for a long period of time. The society of this country is harmed. It's fragmented. its economy is in a bad state, and its infrastructure, its roads, its buildings, its airports, they aren't kept in good state because the country is directing all its efforts to the war, to fight the threat. And at least in part, some of the damage is caused as a collateral effect of maintaining this war effort for a long period of time. And something similar might happen in our bodies. That is, the measures, the action the organism takes to fight a threat, even if it's an organic one, have a cost. And if kept over time, they contribute to the damage. The article then talks a little bit more about the evidence of these contemplative practices in our health, in many aspects of it. But what it brings to the table is the idea that the benefit comes because these practices induce a state of physical and mental relaxation, a feeling of safety, a perception of safety, of tranquility. When that perception happens at a physical and mental level, when that perception happens at a mental and physical level, for example, at the level of the neural system, particularly the autonomous nervous system, the body reduces its metabolic investment in the stress response, and then it can activate pathways that are related to healing and to maintenance. These pathways have to do with repair of structures such as the mitochondria, the DNA, the cell walls, and in fact, there is a high similarity of these effects with healthy sleep. And the authors even say that healthy sleep may serve as a basis for us to understand, because since it is also a state of very deep relaxation, there might be some similarities between the state induced by contemplative practices and healthy restorative sleep. The article then goes on to discuss some methodological issues to guide future research, and it reinforces the importance of a comprehensive attention to our well-being. I'll see you in the next one.